Assalamu alaikum, our dear students. Welcome to a new lesson for our school, Qatar Technical School. This is an English lesson for grade 10 using Technical English Book 1. The title of today's lesson is Properties 2. As usual, we need to look at the objectives before we start the lesson. The first objective for today is describing some properties of materials. The second objective is reading for details. Please go to the course book page 45. We will start by looking at exercise 7, page 45. We need to match the sentences. On the left we have a description of the material, and on the right we have the properties of these materials according to the descriptions. Let's read the descriptions first. Number 1, this material doesn't burn or melt if you heat it. Number 2, this material doesn't break if you strike it or drop it. Number 3, you can't bend this material. Number 4, this material doesn't corrode if you put it in water. 5, you can't scratch this material or cut it. On the right, we have 6 properties of the materials. It's rigid, it's hard, it's tough, it's heat resistant, it's corrosion resistant. Now let's look carefully at number 1. This material doesn't burn or melt if you heat it. So this material is heat resistant. Okay, for example, when we talk about the spark plug, it's made of ceramic. Why? Because it's heat resistant, so it doesn't burn or melt if you heat it. And this is part of because this spark plug is inside the engine, so it doesn't burn or melt if you heat it. Number 2, this material doesn't break if you strike it or drop it. If a material is like this, we say that it is tough. It's tough. Like steel, for example. Number 3, you can't bend this material. When you can't bend a material, we say that it's rigid. It's rigid. Okay. Number 4, this material doesn't corrode if you put it in water. Of course, the answer is E. It's corrosion resistant. When we talk about something like that, we can mention the car radiator, because this radiator is all the time filled with water. Number 5, you can't scratch this material or cut it. Of course, this material is hard. For example, the diamond. The diamond is hard because you can't scratch it or cut it. That's why diamonds are expensive. Now let's move to exercise 8. Match the words with their opposites. We have 3 adjectives or 3 properties from exercise 7. Number 1, tough. Number 2, hard. Number 3, rigid. And we have number 4, strong. And number 5, light. Number 1, for example, the opposite of tough. Okay, let's see. Tough means that it doesn't break if you strike it or drop it. So the opposite is brittle. Brittle. Okay, brittle in Arabic means hash, like glass, for example. Number 2, hard. We said you can scratch it or cut it. Okay, so the opposite is soft, like dough. Dough, for example, what we call in Arabic al-ma'joon, it's soft. Okay, here it doesn't mean na'am, but it means layin, soft like dough or play-doh, ma'joon. It's soft. You can cut it, you can scratch it. Number 3, rigid. Rigid means it doesn't bend easily. So the opposite is flexible. Flexible. Number 4, strong. The opposite is weak. 5, light is the opposite of heavy. Now we'll move to the second objective for today, which is reading for detail. What can you see in the picture? Yes, it's a car. What kind of car? It's a race car. Okay, so what do you think what we need this car to be? It has to be strong, of course, to protect the driver. Okay, what else? Yes, it has to be light so that it can run very fast. So, do you think it's made of one material or more than one material? Of course, it's made of more than one material. Let's look at the text and read it quickly. This racing car is made from the latest high-tech engineering materials. It's made from metals, alloys, ceramics, plastics, and composites. Many materials in the car are light but very strong. Okay, you have to look at the box at the bottom to the left. An alloy, because we made this word, an alloy is a mixture of two or more metals. A composite is a mixture of two types of material. Fiberglass is a composite. It is a mixture of plastic and a ceramic. A plastic and a ceramic. Okay, now let's go back to the text. The nose cone of the vehicle is made of strong light fiberglass. The spoiler and the wings are made from two materials. The inner core is light. It's made of polystyrene. The outer skin is hard and made of fiberglass. The frame is light but very tough and rigid. It's made of chromoly, a steel alloy. The radiator is made of aluminum. The aluminum is coated with ceramic. These two materials are corrosion resistant. The engine and pistons are made of light aluminum alloy. Each piston inside the engine is coated with a heat-resistant ceramic. The wheels are made of strong light aluminum alloy. The tires are made of tough rubber composite. Okay, so in this reading passage we have seen a description of many parts, what are they made of and what the properties are. Now we need to fill in the table. We have on the column on the left the part, for example the nose cone, spoiler and wings, wheels, tires, pistons, frame and radiator. What is it made of? We need to write the material and what are its properties. We'll do some of them together, then I give you some time to answer yourselves. Okay, so let's see. The nose cone is made of fiberglass, and this fiberglass is strong and light. The spoiler and wings are made of are coated with fiberglass, which is hard. Okay, so now please take 5 minutes to try to answer and write the rest of the answers. Then come back to check the answers. Okay, welcome back. Now let's look at the wheels made of aluminum alloy, and the properties are strong and light. Very good. Number 7, the tires are made of rubber composite, and the properties are that it's tough. The pistons are coated with ceramic because it's heat resistant. Number 11, the frame is made of chromoly because it's light, tough, and rigid. Number 13, the radiator is made of aluminum. Why? Because it's corrosion resistant. Very good. So now we have seen the structure or the material of many parts of the car and the properties that help keep this part in a good condition. Now, after achieving our two objectives for today, please don't forget to go to the teams to answer the homework. You have 24 hours to do the homework. We wish you all the best and goodbye.